Hello and welcome to more Vintage Cube. What do we got in this pack? Let's see. We have Force of Negation. I'm a big fan of this card. I actually do like Phyrexian Revoker a lot, but I think it's going to come around. People don't respect it quite a lot. Gitaxian Probe is just free and it goes in many decks. And then first picking Tolarian Academy, it is a powerful card, so you can plan to build around it. I don't know if it's worth doing, like taking it that early, but I don't have that much else. Like, if you go like Mox into Tolarian Academy, I think that's a really strong start, but just taking Academy is harder to make work. I think I'm just going to start with Force of Negation here. It's a really nice card, and just being able to play it for free gives you such like an easy way to disrupt your opponent, and it was one of the few blue cards in that pack. Alright, we can follow that up with Brainstorm, Trinket Mage. There's a lot of green, Craterhoof, and Primetime. And this is a situation where no matter which one I take, right? Let's say I take Primeval Titan, I'm still passing a Craterhoof Behemoth. So the person I'm passing to is going to get a signal that, hey, maybe green is open. So I try to avoid getting in fights like that if possible. And I don't think green is that good, particularly because people draft it so much. So when you're in a situation where there's a color people are more inclined to draft and you're passing like some of people's favorites cards in that color, it's really sketchy, I think, to go into that. So I'm going to try and steer clear. We have something like Chrome Box, Battlesphere, or Brainstorm, really. And what do I want to do with all of these? Kind of want to just take Chrome Box. It's pretty good if you go blue-white, like mid-range or aggro. And that is one of my favorite decks. So I think I'm just going to take it and see if we can get there. Ooh, and then we get Dark Confidant, but also Vendilion Click. I could go blue-black as well, so I could take Vendilion Click here, and then wield Dark Confidant. Again, there's a lot of green going around. I'm hoping people to my left pick up on the signal and just take those cards. Because I don't think it's worth fighting. Like, you know, if you take Raphaelos, if I had taken Primetime in the last pack, I'm still not going to get everything that I want. Yeah, I think Click is a pretty good signal that blue is open, and with Force of Negation, it's great. And then we can just hope that this guy comes around. Ooh, Spell Pierce? I do like Spell Pierce a lot. It's just disruptive, right? It just stops your opponent from doing unfair things for 1 mana, which is all you can really ask for. Otherwise, there's Elspeth. Dismember is good. I keep forgetting to like remember that they're using different art for some reason. So like when I see this card, I have no idea what it is. But that I would definitely take on the wheel. Here we're going to take Spell Pierce though. Okay. There's a Control Magic. I think this card is fine. There's a Hallowed Fountain if we do want to end up blue-white, which is what I kind of said I wanted to do. And Hallowed Fountain is kind of a signal that the colors are open. Sometimes people take like playables and then the lands, but basically that nobody has taken this yet could be a sign that blue-white is something that we want to get into. And I don't think Control Magic is that amazing in Vintage Cube, just because there's a lot of creatures that you can't Control Magic, or their Enter the Battlefield effect is what makes them scary. So it's not as good as it is in something like Legacy Cube, where most creatures can be stolen. We could draft a Moat deck. There's Legion's Landing. We could take Scrubland. I kind of want to take Legion's Landing. I kind of want to draft this blue-white aggro deck. So I'm going to lean towards that. I don't know if this is like the best direction to go, but it's a direction I want to go. So let's just see if it works. There's a Pestermite, Terminus, Search for Skanta, and a Recruiter of the Guard. I guess I could take Pestermite. I also have not drafted Twin, I don't think, like in a very long time. So I'll take this just to see if it's open. Because Recruit of the Guard is not that amazing in a aggro deck. Like, you don't need that much value. That is a very late miscalc. Also a late Duress and Dark Ritual, and white, like Kithian and Figure of Destiny are both pretty good. So I'm going to take miscalc because it's the better card and it's in the color that we know we're going to be. But just keeping in mind that white cards are open, so maybe we can draft the blue-white creature deck that I've been looking forward to. Spectral Procession will be hard to cast. There is just a Parallax Wave that's pretty good with Vendilion Click, and it's okay with Pestermite. It's a fine card, and I'm not really going to be playing anything else. I'll take the Wave. Elish Norn is pretty good in decks like this. That's a Inferno Titan. It's a very late Inferno Titan, but I'll take the Norn. Okay, so I think we actually do get to draft what we wanted. It's between... This is actually kind of hard. There's Oblivion Ring 2, which is just good removal. And it's good at cleaning up like things that your counter magic missed, because it just exiles anything. Otherwise, there's Porcelain Legionnaire if we think we were going to be aggressive. I think I'm going to lean towards the Legionnaire. I want to be more blue-white aggro than I want to be blue-white mid-range. Just personal preference here, but that's what I feel like drafting. So let's see if we can do that. Because there's like Wall of Omens. Dreadhorde Arcanist is okay. Terminus. Okay. I mean, mid-range is probably what the cube is telling us to do because like Wall and Terminus and all that are so good. Ooh, there's a Venser too. I mean, I'm going to take Venser here. There's Student of Warfare. I do like Day of Judgment. You want at least one Wrath. Probably not if we're playing aggro, but it's pretty good. We could take Kiki Jiki. We do have this one Pestermite, but I don't think it's worth stretching the mana that far when the rest of our deck already looks pretty nice and we're getting a really solid playable over Kiki. So we're just going to take the Venser. And now we're like really looking for something like a Karakas. Because Karakas is just disruptive, but then it also combos with Vendilion Click and Venser because you can return your own legends. And then you can keep like, you know, taking the best card out of their hand or bouncing permanents. It's really strong. There's a Ravages of War. There's also a Steam Vents. So I'm not playing any red cards. I guess the reason to take Steam Vents would be if I get like a red-white duel. But I guess I already have Hallowed Fountain for that regard, so I don't need it that much. I guess Shark Typhoon is also pretty good. I'm gonna take the Typhoon actually. If this ends up more mid-rangey, oh no. Oh, okay. I was gonna say if this ends up more mid-rangey, I'll be happier to have the Typhoon because Ravages is, you know, at its best in an aggressive deck. Here we have Mox Diamond and Consecrated Sphinx. Two absolutely fantastic cards. Mox Diamond lets us get a little bit more aggressive so we can play 2 drops on turn 3 and things. I think probably this deck wants Consecrated Sphinx. Despite my best wishes, we're not super aggressive. And, you know, this does put you down a card. So there is a cost in doing that. And when your deck, you know, if we look at our 2 drops, like playing Miscalculation on turn 1 is not necessary most of the time. And like Porcelain Legionnaire is our best 2 drop. I don't think we got Dark Confidant back. When you have Dark Confidant and like Thalia and things like that, playing your 2 drops on turn 1 are a lot more important, but I think we're just going to take Consecrated Sphinx here. It's just so good. Ooh, a lot of good options here. Polluted Delta grabs Hallowed Fountain. Riftwing Cloudskate is probably the best card in general for this deck. And then Adanto Vanguard and Arid Mesa, both really good too. I think I'm going to take the land because we're going to get one of these cards back, and our mana is a little bit suspicious. So I'm just going to make sure we can cast our spells, then go from there. Ooh, there's Preordained, Containment Priest, and Underground Sea. Don't really think we need, but if we could put Thoughtseize in the deck, I would. Let's see. We do have Containment Priest, Parallax Wave. There is a pretty good chance that Containment Priest comes around. So what's going to be left in the pack? Croxa, Soulscar Mage, Winter Orb. I think I'm going to take Preordained and get a little bit greedy and try and wheel Containment Priest. This card is really good, especially with things like Parallax Wave, but it's really hard to overstate how good things like Preordain are. Just increasing your deck consistency is so strong. Wow, there's a Mystic Confluence and Gideon. Wow, okay, well, all of our colors are open. I mean, we can see like these are very good. I guess Sun Titan to a lesser effect, but Gideon Jira is very good in a deck like this. I would probably play Rishadan Port, but it's really hard to pass Mystic Confluence. It's just like so much card advantage, so much tempo advantage. It's really good. Here, I like Treachery a lot more than I liked Control Magic earlier because you don't have to pay any mana for it really. So you can like get some really strong tempo plays like play Treachery and hold up Mystic Confluence or like Treachery into Consecrated Sphinx. It's just really good. So we'll take that. Gush is okay. I don't love it, I don't hate it. It's just fine. We can take Sword of Temptation, I really like. But there's also a Windswept Heath to go with Hallowed Fountain, so it just gives us like an extra dual land. And I just took Treachery. And I have a lot of playables. I'm just going to go for better mana. Because again, I think where we might lose is on the mana situation. So the way the deck's shaping up, I'm just going to take a Day of Judgment. And not go for Kiki. I don't have triple red in this deck. Late Fire Confluence. And if we were aggro, Student would be good, but Day of Judgment for us. Tithe Taker. So now the next couple packs are where we start potentially wheeling cards that we want to wheel. So this is a weird situation where I think I don't know. I was gonna say I take Kitchen Finks over Thraben Inspector. I think the Inspector is a much better card, but Finks, like gaining life and blocking creatures being hard to kill seems okay. I don't know between these two. I think they're both great. I'm gonna take the 1-drop actually. So there was a card here we did not wheel. I think it was Riftwing Cloudskate. That's unfortunate but acceptable. I think I'm gonna take Brightling over Adanto Vanguard. Is that correct? I think this card is 3 mana. Yeah, I'm gonna take Brightling. It's just more versatile, like it gains Vigilance, Lifelink. It's a single card win condition, and it's very hard to kill. Wow, are those the 3? No, someone took Winter Orb over Fire Blast. Okay. We can take Kaya. Red is very open, by the way. There's Absent. So we didn't... Wow. Wow, red is open. That is a very, very late shrine. So we didn't wheel the cards we wanted to wheel necessarily, but I think it's okay. We took the mana because that's where this deck is lacking. And I think it's a... Ooh, this is actually hard. We got Remand and we have Teferi. Oh, both really good cards. Let's see. So I only have 1 2-mana counter. So Remand is a really nice tempo play. Teferi is very similar though. Oh, this is hard. I think Teferi has more chance of coming around because it's 2 colors, right? Remand is just blue, so there's plenty of people who are like playing at least enough blue to splash a Remand. I don't know what to take. Being able to preordain on your opponent's turn is pretty cool, like with Teferi's ability. I think I'm going to take Remand just because I want more 2-mana interactive spells. Ooh, Mana Tithe. I do love me a Mana Tithe. If I'd known I was getting Mana Tithe, I probably would have taken Teferi. I don't think I'm playing Chromebox. This deck is not fast, so I just want to make sure I don't get run over before turn 3. Because it's much easier to cast like 2 2-mana spells on turn 4 than it is to double spell when you have 3-mana spells. But we're going to take Mana Tithe, maybe wheel Repeal. Would be pretty nice. Ooh, okay, a lot of good things here. We have an Azorius Signet, Daze, Smuggler's Copter, Winds of Abandon. What am I taking out of this pack? What does this deck need? Kind of want to just take Daze and just go like all in on the tempo. That would make... Actually, yeah, our deck is looking to be a little bit more aggressive now. So I could take Daze. I could take Smuggler's Copter and try and wheel Daze because I do think the Copter is really good. That actually seems better to me. It's a really strong card, the Copter. There's Lyra Dawnbringer. I really like Lyra against like decks like Mono Green because the lifelink matters if you're trying to race. Flying, they don't have too many creatures that can block it. Oddly enough, Lyra's worst matchup is right here because it has Vigilance and Reach for some reason. It is a 6/6. But that's okay. We're gonna take Lyra. I probably wouldn't play Beaumont Courier, but that's like something we can look to wheel. This is a pretty decent Hero of Bladehold deck. Especially if we wheel Daze. So we'll take that. Scarab God is good, but I don't have any black fixing. Yeah, the thing this deck is missing now is just mana. Because we have like a lot of double blue and double white with only 3 fetches, which is why I took these cards so highly. Here we can take Flicker Wisp. Probably not too excited about it. There's Gideon. Gideon's fantastic. I normally love Wasteland, but I don't think the color requirements of this deck can really make that work. And Gideon just wins games. Ooh, Seachrome Coast. I pretty much have to take that over everything. So now I have 4 duels. Our mana's not great. I really would like 6 at the very least. And like a Celestial Colonnade would go a long way with this deck. But so far I really like it. Okay, we got everything. Teferi came around. That is exciting. I guess white was open enough that nobody wanted to take it. I think I'm probably not going to main deck Parallax Wave, but maybe I'll reconsider that. Need to make some cuts. 28. I really think this could be a good Brightling deck. Probably don't main deck Lyra. She's good in the sideboard. Repeal is nice too. Wow, this deck has a lot of cheap interaction. Winds of Abandon. Okay. I might run that over Day of Judgment in the main. Probably not going to play Pestermite. Yeah, this deck actually looks really nice. No power or anything. It's, you know, it's a Legacy Cube or even a Modern Cube deck, but it's a very good Legacy Cube deck at that. It just has a lot of cheap interaction. There's Beaumont Courier. Just realized we did not wield Daze, but I think that's okay. I kind of want to sideboard Elishnorn. She's very expensive, and the main benefit of this deck is everything's cheap. So we don't have to play like 18 land or anything like that. I like Sphinx. It's just such a strong top end card, but 7 mana is a lot, and Elish Norn is not amazing against some decks, but we'll probably be sideboarding her in, I would say, almost every match. But if you play against something like Storm or like a Planeswalker Control, it's just awkward to have a 7-drop that doesn't, win the game immediately. Whereas against Mono Green, Elish Norn pretty much wins the game immediately. I think I'm going to cut Flicker Wisp because I don't have too many synergies with it. Red is so unbelievably open. What else do I cut? Part of me wants to say Brightling because of like the heavy white mana requirement. And we could get rid of Hero of Bladehold as well, because this could be a 16 land deck because we do have Preordain and like all of our interaction is 1 and 2. So if we miss a land drop, it's not the worst thing ever. Do I like Winds of Abandon? I mean, I guess this deck does not have very much removal. That is the one thing I don't like. We need more removal. I could cut Shark Typhoon for a land, but this is like a 3 mana. Let me think about that. It's like a 3 mana 1/1 that has flash and draws a card, which is pretty good with. I have Miscalc, Remand, Spell Pierce, Venser, Mystic Confluence. So having something to do with my mana when I hold it up is pretty nice. I think I'm gonna cut Hero of Bladehold. It's really good. I think I'm gonna cut Legion's Landing. It's unlikely that we get to flip it, and the 1 mana 1/1 doesn't matter too much in this deck. I think we have more powerful things. So that actually makes a lot more sense to me. 7/6 seems okay. 13, 17 land. Let me sort by color just to make sure. Yeah, I have more blue than white. So I think I like this deck. I could definitely see some arguments for putting Parallax Wave in the main, Day of Judgment as well, and Elish Norn. I don't know. I'm a big fan of just sideboarding in to different decks as you see fit, because this deck it's the most proactive version of the decks, right? Things like Day of Judgment and Elish Norn even are somewhat reactive. This deck, it does its thing, it does it well, and then, if they're playing creatures, we have quite a few cards we can bring in to deal with that. So I'm gonna run it like this. See you guys round 1. I think I probably should have cut Wall of Omens from the deck. I'm gonna keep this hand. It's pretty nice. Just has like a bit of interaction, some creatures. Playing against white, it's not every day. I actually kind of want to protect myself from some type of land destruction effect, so I'll just play Polluted Delta. Mono white. Okay, not quite mono white. Simic Signet Double Plains is interesting. I think, let's see, so they could play like a Gideon next turn. So I'm going to get down a Porcelain Legionnaire actually, because Gideon doesn't do a whole lot against the Legionnaire, and holding up Remand would just put us in the exact same situation next turn. If I had 3 mana and I could Remand a 4-drop, that doesn't even do anything. Yeah, I think it's just better to play the card that deals with most things they could play, and then have Remand up rather than bounce the thing they have and then just end up in the same spot. Is this like mono artifact Armageddons? If they play like Kolagon's Command, I have no idea. Okay, hang it back for 1, totally fine. It's just weird. Normally in mono white, you don't play that many signets because your threats are cheap, so you're not really ramping into anything. So it's just interesting to see. We attack for 3. We have first strike, so if they want to block and get a 1/1 token, that's fine. Here we are going to play. So it's kind of awkward. I still don't want to expose myself to Wasteland. So I'm actually not going to play the Hallowed Fountain. I'm just going to play a Plains and pass turn. Another reason is they could definitely have some type of like Armageddon Ravages of War effect. That's the only other thing I can think of, like if you're playing a bunch of artifacts in your white deck. So saving my duel just seems to make sense. Because if they go like Wasteland me and then play a Planeswalker and then I have to like remand it, I fall really far behind. So because I have enough lands in hand, I think it's worth it to just try to not let that happen. Baneslayer Angel. Okay, we're gonna remand that. Hope to find an answer soon. That is a very good answer, actually. Ooh, this is interesting. So I don't want them to know about Teferi, but Teferi into Thraben Inspector is like the most mana efficient play I can possibly make. And this lets me uptick Teferi. So I think I am going to do that. We just attack for 3. Yeah, because this lets me uptick and then bounce. And then like be closer to bouncing again, just for even more tempo plays. So we're going to play Teferi into Thraben Inspector. So I can block the Hangerback Walker. Then we uptick to Fairy. Okay, opponent is playing blue cards. So we wanted to see Baneslayer Angel again. Perfect. Okay. So now we bounce Baneslayer to Fairy goes down to 2. Then we just need to find an answer for Baneslayer for 1 turn. And we get like quite a few draw steps to do that. So we bounce. Avacyn's? Is it a 4/4? I think it's a 5/5. So that doesn't exactly work. I guess we can attack. They're going to make this into a 2/2, which is fine. Actually, yeah, so I'm going to attack. If they like level up and block, I'm probably just going to hold up mana for Archangel Avacyn. They're not doing that, so we don't have to worry. We can just play Wall of Omens, see what we draw. Ooh, the Copter is so good here. Let's play around Daze, I guess, with Island, play the Copter. I guess they can't Daze, I have Teferi. Card's so strong. Okay, so now we have Archangel Avacyn plus Copter to block their Baneslayer. We can just play Consecrated Sphinx and draw cards, and Sphinx can block their Baneslayer. There's a lot of options here. Oh, Stone. That's pretty good. But I have Archangel Avacyn actually, so that's not going to do that much. Yeah, that's actually fine. We lose to Fairy, but not the end of the world, so we uptick. Crew the Copter, 3-bit Inspector. Swing out. Loot. Ooh, Mystic Confluence is good too. A lot of things here. I guess I'm pretty set up for anything they could have, because if they Ravages of War, I can Confluence, like, counter that spell, bounce their Hangerback Walker, and then I have lethal. So part of me wants to just discard this Hallowed Fountain. It is my only other blue source though, so I'm a bit weak to something like Strip Mine. So I'm going to discard the Plains, and then just play Hallowed Fountain untapped. Last turn. So I imagine their play is going to be level up Hangerback, pop Oblivion Stone, but she gives all my creatures indestructible, and I can play Avacyn and crew the Copter to give it indestructible. So they do nothing. I can't even crack the clue here, but that's okay. They're letting me draw an extra card off to Fairy. So we're going to play our land. Yeah, because they're going to crack mid-combat. So I'm going to bounce. I don't want to bounce the O-Stone because they're like forced to pop it here. So I'm going to bounce Simic Signet instead, because this is all non-land permanents. Yeah. So we're going to bounce the Signet. That lets us draw a card, which is good. I guess maybe I should have just targeted nothing. I forgot they're going to lose their Signets too. Yeah, I should have just not targeted anything. For some reason I thought these would stay in play, but this is really bad for them. Okay. So we crew the Copter. And we attack. They have to pop O-Stone unless they have something crazy. Okay, so we play Avacyn. Alright, yeah. Game's over. Don't really know what their deck is, but it's blue-white something. Against O-Stone, I feel like my deck's pretty okay. So we'll just run it back. Ooh, yeah, this hand's good. This hand is good. So we can, I mean, we just have so much tempo. We can like remand their play, to Fairy their play, and then counter it. Oh, it's gonna be really good. And they multi 5? Oh no, opponent, I'm sorry. So because of how important Island is, we're gonna lead on Plains, because again, Strip Mine could lock us off of blue. Ooh, and they have a Signet. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna like these next few turns. So now we lead on Island, we can remand whatever they play. They do nothing. I think I'm okay just doing nothing. We're gonna play land because they have Mana Tithe or Daze, like possible. Because they mulliganed, I guess the longer the game goes, the worse it is, but I think we're fine. Like, I can just hold up Counter Magic until I have 5, and then I can go like to Fairy with Counter Magic backup. And here I can play Wall of Omens with Counter Magic backup, which is really good. Play you. We have Shark Typhoon, perfect. So opponent has 5 spells in hand. Phantasmal Image. We're gonna remand that actually because they don't have blue mana to cast this twice. Then we're gonna play Hallowed Fountain untapped. Play to Fairy. Yeah. I would concede in that spot too. See you guys next round. Alright, we're playing against Turkey Turkey. Let's go first. Told their opponent good luck and they say, hi, thank you, you too. Thank you. On the play, I'm going to keep this. It might seem a little strange, but Teferi really is that strong. Like, it's just such a strong tempo play. We can instant speed Winds of Abandon. We can bounce their Goose. I can play Porcelain Legionnaire. It's just really good. I don't think playing Winds on Goose is necessarily worth it, because, yeah, that one seems better to get rid of. We're going to bounce it with Teferi first, just to buy us more time, and then we're going to Winds of Abandon. Yeah, I guess they could have like Spell Pierce or something, so that would be impressive. But we're going to get rid of Rafellos, attack for 3, and the next turn we can instant speed Winds of Abandon Rafellos on their upkeep. Oh, interesting. So they go Dryad into Rafellos. And all their lands are forests? That's pretty good. Fair enough. And the 2-4, this is actually pretty threatening. I think we're going to lose our Teferi here because of the 2-4 attacking. So we go Plains. I can't leave them with that much mana. Or can I? How much mana is that? So this adds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. I don't think I can. We're just going to upkeep Winds. And do I chump block with the Legionnaire? That's the question. Do they have a spell in their upkeep? Oh, sure. So, now, do I trade away Porcelain Legionnaire? I think I actually do. Because Teferi's bounce is very relevant. And the extra card draw matters. If they're green, so they're gonna have a lot of creatures that can block the Legionnaire. I'll probably side it out for the next game. And if somehow I get to play Teferi, I think I'll be pretty happy. Or if I get to like bounce another thing with Teferi, I'll be pretty happy. Ro is scary, but they can pretty much play all the lands they want anyway. Interesting to do it that way. They could have just cast Search for Tomorrow and then played Uro, but this is what it is. So let's uptick here. I'm having some weird deja vu. I feel like I've done this before. So next turn they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm just gonna play out Gideon and make a blocker for Teferi, because they didn't do anything super crazy last turn. They suspended Search for Tomorrow, so it doesn't even seem like they're that looking for action. So now I just block. And here's where I think Planeswalkers are just silly, right? Like, I've just played these things. If they don't answer them, I make a 2-2 every turn. I'm going to draw a card every 3 turns. Like, the game will end. Okay, well, that's a bit scary. Ancient Tomb Island. So now I think I can just cash into Teferi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to have to double counter Primeval Titan. I think that's okay. We're going to bounce this. Draw Miscalc. So that's good. Gideon makes a knight, play a land, hold up Mystic Confluence, pass turn. Ooh, they get Search. Okay, so they have a bunch of mana. So we're gonna let Gideon take 2 here, because then I can make a second knight token and then double block the Dryad so they don't have good attacks anymore. Tireless Tracker. It's unfortunate, but it's fine. So Miscalc doesn't do anything here. We're going to counter this. Part of me does want to bounce the Tireless Tracker, although I think drawing cards is just better. So let's counter that draw card, because they only have 2 mana available. Or I'll hold up Mana Tithe, I guess. Double land, not the best spot to be in. Hero of Bladehold's okay though, so let's make a knight. Does Miscalc even do anything? Not really. Yeah, we're just gonna play a Consecrated Sphinx, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holding up like Mana Tithe Swords to Plowshares or something. Pass turn. So now if they want to go off with Tireless Tracker, I get to draw like a million cards. Oh, Repeal. I guess, nah, it's still not really worth holding up blue for that. The old Swamp Island Ancient Tomb. You love to see it. What is this much mana? Craterhoof? It's always Craterhoof. No, it's not Craterhoof. It's 9 mana. Tooth and Nail Entwined is probably Craterhoof. And Miscalc wouldn't have stopped that because they still have 2 mana available. So I think I went wrong letting Primetime resolve. What do you got? Oh, Avenger of Zendikar and Progenitus. Oh, and they put Emrakul into play. Okay. Well, Winds of Abandon would be pretty good here. Thraben Inspector. There's no way for me to instant speed Winds of Abandon. I can cycle Miscalc, and that would let me hit it. Nope. Trying to think what else I can do here. I mean, I can block the Emrakul. We're gonna make a knight. I think I just need to draw something. I don't know what I can draw, but I guess we'll see. Vendilion Click. Ooh, I can do this really sweet line. I don't really want them to know what I have going on. I'm just dead. Like, there's no way around it, I'm just dead. But I could Vendilion Click them, and that forces them to draw, so that Consecrated Sphinx would give me 2 cards, which seems pretty cool. We're gonna bring in Day of Judgment, Elish Norn, Lyra Dawnbringer, getting rid of Porcelain Legionnaire, Tithe Taker. We're basically getting more controlling. Force of Negation I kind of like because they have Tooth and Nail. What else do I want? Part of me wants Parallax Wave, but that's only a temporary solution. Winds of Abandon is probably worse than Terminus. And here's Bladehold is pretty medium against their deck. With only 8 creatures, do I want the Smuggler's Copter? I also probably don't really want Spell Pierce. I didn't see Natural Order from them, so I think we can get something better. Maybe Absent? Absent's really good against Mana Dorks. And then I have Teferi, Gideon, Venser, some big flyers. We just draw into Elish Norn. I do like Mana Tithe on the play. Part of me wants Brightling, but I think that's pretty medium. I'm just gonna run it like this. Alright, let's go first. Yeah, this hand's good. We got Wall of Omens, into Teferi, into Vendilion Click. And if they have something like Raphelos, we have Unexpectedly Absent. I am probably going to just fetch up our Hallowed Fountain because I didn't see like Wasteland or anything from them. Yeah, I'm just gonna get Hallowed Fountain. I think my life total matters a bit. Seachrome Coast, perfect. Wall of Omens. If they do nothing, I think I just Teferi Uptick. Teferi Bounce my Wall of Omens also is pretty tempting. Although I really don't want to get Teferi countered, so maybe I just draw step Vendilion Click them. That seems pretty good actually. If they're holding up counter magic, this forces them to tap out. And if they don't have anything, then I start attacking them for damage. Oh wow. What is this hand? Oh, they have Show and Tell. Okay, well I just get rid of Show and Tell and then they don't have very much. Their hand is full of like nonsense. Glad I went for that instead of just Teferi. So now they play Tracker. They didn't even have an extra land, right? No, they did. No, yeah, they played that. Their hand is Memory Jar. They have Nykthos. Okay, so they can go Tracker into land next turn, but I think that's okay because we're gonna go to Teferi, bounce your Tracker, draw a land, hit them for 3. Then we're going to Absent the Tracker, unless we draw something better. Man, Mana Tithe there would have been so brutal. Okay, so they drew a land. And a birds? What? You can't just do that. Not even cool. Alright, let's uptick to Teferi. Play a land. Attack them for 3. And I kind of want to just... I want them to draw the Tracker in 2 turns because that's when I'm going to play Elish Norn. So I Absent for 2. I guess they're going to crack their Clue. So let's Absent for 3. Yeah, that works. Because yeah, they can crack Clue. Basically, I want to get it so that they have Tireless Tracker in play, have not cracked a Clue, and then I Elish Norn. Or I have Elish Norn in play before they Tireless Tracker. Did I uptick to Teferi? I hope I did. Yes, okay. Okay, so now it is 1 beneath the top card. The Finale for Raphelos? Okay. You know, that's a line. That's a pretty good line. I'm drawing a lot of land here. Alright, well, we uptick. Opponent gets 1 turn. Hit for 3. If Emrakul in hand, Raphaelos can add a bit of mana. I guess I can draw a Force of Negation. Nope. Man, that was an unfortunate packet of lands. I needed interaction that turn, because this is like stupid amounts of mana. Yep, Tooth and Nail and Twine. As far as I can tell, they don't have Crater Hoof, and I can... Avengers Zendikar Primetime. Okay, so if they just do that, Emrakul Progenitus, I think we're not in the worst position. I can bounce Emrakul if I need to. Wait, are they dead? This is 5 plus 6 is 11. Oh, wow. They're actually dead. You ready? So I bounce Emrakul. Ooh, Treachery is pretty nice as well. No, because the things are just going to die. So we just go land Elish Norn. They lose everything, and then I hit them for exactly 11 in the air. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Okay, we can do this. Yeah, Day of Judgment Terminus seems okay. We're just gonna run it back. Yeah, I'll keep this. The combination of Mana Tithe plus Absent means we're probably going to hit their mana somewhere. It's also kind of nice. I'm gonna play this because I don't want to draw too many more lands. It's kind of nice that they led on Pilgrim because that means if they play Raphaelos, we can still tithe it. Yeah, wait, no. What am I saying? That's not how that works. I was thinking just green mana, but we cannot counter Raphaelos here. Alright, we fetch. Get a plains. Yeah, Mana Tithe would have been way better on the play, but that's okay. They've had a very quick Raphaelos. I guess only 2 games. I think I'm going to draw step, unexpectedly absent their Raphaelos. So they've drawn their card for turn, now we put it on top. I just can't let them activate it. They play Skoos. Are they missing lands? Oh, nice. And I have Day of Judgment. Okay, we get to go Hallowed Fountain tapped. We let Raphaelos resolve, then we Day of Judgment their board as they miss land drops. And attacking, I guess they didn't see Mana Tithe, but you always got to play around Mana Tithe. Whoa, next level. Okay, they just do nothing. I like it. We have Teferi. Teferi with instant speed Wrath is pretty cool. What am I doing here? Definitely playing Island. I thought they drew Raphaelos per turn. What do they have here? I think I want to just play Teferi and uptick. That really sets up for the Wrath. It also makes them want to commit more to the board. Okay, they're just gonna eat my stuff. I don't really care. Really weird they didn't play Raphaelos. I don't think they saw a Wrath effect, right? So Teferi takes 3. Now they do that. Now they lose their whole board. Uptick. Wrath. I could have done it at instant speed, but I didn't want to let them untap, and who knows what they could have potentially like flashed into play. So we're gonna Mana Tithe the Fauna Shaman. They only have 2 mana still. I think this is where Lyra Dawnbringer takes over the game. Go. And that's how you dismantle mono green. Gilded Goose, sure. I'm just gonna bounce that with Teferi. Raven Inspector is pretty nice. Let's play the Inspector. Play a land, hit them for 5. Holding up Confluence. Don't think I'm going to Confluence the Goose. Show and Tell. We're just going to counter that. Counter target spell, draw 2. And now I have Force of Negation. Yeah, this game's pretty much over. Uptick Teferi, play the wall, play Preordain, Copter Seachrome Coast. I'll keep the Copter. Play the Copter, and then we can still hold up Force of Negation Hardcast. Hit them for 6. And if I find a creature, I can attack them for lethal unless they crack the food. Because this is 6 plus Copter is 9. Or if they tap Ancient Tomb. Oko is getting countered. We got there. We are in the finals. See you guys there. Alright, we're playing against Just a Legend. We keep winning die rolls, so let's go first. I don't know if we actually keep winning die rolls, but we won this one at least. We keep. And I think I'm just going to lead on Windswept Heath. This hand doesn't want more lands, but it also doesn't mind more lands. So depending on what colors they show, I'll decide if I fetch a dual land or not. They mulled to 5. Okay, probably going to be fetching a dual land then. Oh, don't Thoughtseize my thing. So they said, good luck, good luck. They don't want me having any fun. I'm going to guess they're on Reanimator. The extensive amount of mulliganing plus Swamp turn 1 makes me think that. Not a whole lot we can do against Reanimator with this hand. Ooh, okay, now there is. I am gonna hold up Spell Pierce. They mulliganed a bunch. If they just go Entomb, Animate Dead, I could lose. So we're gonna play to turn slower because, you know, they've mulliganed. And I might regret it if they're playing like Dark Confidant here, but I think I'm gonna be pretty happy with my decision. Now I can play Smuggler's Copter. And I'm gonna hold up just a basic land. Pass turn. Then I can play Tithe Taker. I'm just gonna counter that actually. Don't know what's going on, but generally if you have Spell Pierce, counting something that adds a bunch of mana is a good idea. Treachery makes me feel a bit more safe. So let's go Tithe Taker, Crew, attack. Definitely loot. Ooh, Miscalc? I don't think they're gonna resolve a creature, so I'm just gonna discard Treachery. Is that crazy? They have 4 cards in hand? That might be crazy. I could just discard Island, but I really want to have Mystic Confluence. Yeah, I'm just gonna discard this Island. Treachery is really good, and it makes it so that if they do, like, I don't know, reanimate a Gristlebrand or something, they get to draw a bunch of cards, but at least I get to take it. Oh, okay. Well, their deck's pretty scary. Glad I got rid of the Spell Pierce. They're not doing anything. Alright, deck can be land. Mana Tithe is moderately acceptable. It's Crew. So if they're trying to do things on my turn, it is going to be more expensive for them. I'm just going to get rid of Avacyn. I did miss a land, but I have Miscalc plus Mana Tithe, so I don't know. I guess we'll see if Treachery was worth it. They didn't do anything. Imperial Seal is fine. I think I probably should have discarded Treachery. I'm getting more Storm vibes now than anything else. I could cycle Miscalc, but I think having double counter here is pretty nice. Porcelain Legionnaire, I can 2-turn clock them. No, wait, let me think about this. I play Legionnaire, I hit them for 5. Not a 2-turn clock, so let's just Crew. I want to have 5 mana up if possible. We attack. Please land. Wow. Discarding that land really hurt us. I think I'm just gonna discard a Porcelain Legionnaire. They take 3. Man, yeah, I wish I hit that land. I mean, I figured I was gonna draw a land because I've gone through half my deck and I've only seen 5 lands, so let's just get rid of Treachery. I can play everything else. Is Porcelain Legionnaire lethal? So I play Legionnaire and then I play Gideon. I think it's better to have Miscalc and Mana Tithe. I don't know what they're doing. I feel like it's some type of Storm or Tinker deck. Recall themselves, okay. That's what the Imperial Sealed for. Not the best sequence because they're still down. You know, Imperial Seal is card disadvantage, and then Recall is card advantage, so it's like a very slow divination. Let's just draw a land, shall we? Come on, deck. Why is this happening? I think at this point I'm going to cast Porcelain Legionnaire and just hope that I draw a land because that's a 2-turn clock. Through. And like, I'm so likely to draw a land, right? Apparently not. Alright, goodbye, hero. I have never been so punished for discarding a land before. Alright, I just have Miscalc. That does not make me feel safe at all. Channel? Regrowth Recall. Okay. Okay. Well, their mana is pretty low now. Yawgmoth's Will would be the scary thing. Like, if they go Yawgmoth's Will, LED, I mean, that would be absurd. Tendrils me. Acceptable. No, we're just gonna hold up our counter magic. They have 7 cards in hand, but they no longer have Black Lotus. And I know they're playing Storm. Still don't hit a land. This is ridiculous. Let's Crew. I can't kill them, right? I play Gideon, make a token, that crews the copter, they take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I actually was supposed to counter that tendrils. Yeah, I was supposed to. It's okay though, they go to 4 here. Alright, deck. I've drawn half of you. Can I see another land, please? Turns out Treachery was definitely not worth it. Attack. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna discard Preordain actually. Because I just want to make sure I have all my mana available. They go to 4. I think this shuts down Mind's Desire. I'm trying to decide what's better, Teferi or Mystic Confluence, Miscalc, Mana Tithe. And I feel like the answer is Mystic Confluence, Miscalc, Mana Tithe. Because, like, really I think the only way they can win from this spot would be something involving Yawgmoth's Will LED. And while Miscalc, Mana Tithe cannot deal with Yawgmoth's Will LED because they go Yawgwill, LED, they have a bunch of mana up, the rest can. They're doing nothing. Okay. Oh, it's going to be a lot more expensive on their turn. I'm not even going to crew the copter in case they have a kill spell. Like, this just seems more reasonable to me. Because if they kill something now, then I crew the copter in response. Looks like they forgot about Tithe Taker. I don't blame them. Alright, they said something, but I can't read the chat, so we'll see later. So they're almost certainly playing Storm. What do we not care about? Treachery. I'm actually pretty set up to play against Storm, I think. Absent is pretty good against like their things. I actually like Pestermite, just denying them mana. Things I don't care too much about are Wall of Omens. Could bring in Legion's Landing because I'm trying to be more aggressive. But I don't know how much like a 1/1 matters. They do have tendrils, so every life I gain, it's better than Winds of Abandon, for sure. Part of me wants to bring in Chrome Box just so I can be faster. Trying to see if there's anything. I mean, my deck's really set up for this matchup. Could get rid of Archangel Avacyn, but I like that I can like hold up counter magic and then flash this in. So I think I'm just gonna do it like this. Opponent said Tithe Taker and fetch lands, I always forget. Told him it's a hard card to remember. Whoa, this hand's alright. We got Mana Tithe into Legionnaire into Teferi. The problem is they kept 7. So let's hope they don't have recall. No, they don't. Okay. Given that, I'm just gonna play out Legion's Landing. If they had recall, they would have upkeeped it. I think. Yeah. Okay, so no Mana Tithe there. We just gotta put a clock in play and hope they can't kill us like turn 2. Okay, Miscalc makes me feel like a little bit safer. Attack for 1. I'm still gonna tap out this turn. If they can go off with 2 lands, sure. I think from here on out we're just gonna hold up Mana Tithe Miscalc though. Unless they play like a Wyrn Power Stone that I need to Teferi. Uh-oh. Flame Slash into Imperial Seal. Okay. What do we got? I can Teferi my Legion's Landing. I think Force of Negation makes me feel relatively comfortable tapping out. And again, I need to put threats in play. Let's bounce Legion's Landing. Let me think about this. I could bounce Legion's Landing, but if they just play like Basalt Monolith, I would much rather be able to bounce that. So I guess I'm going to uptick this turn, and then if they don't do anything, I can bounce it next turn. And I'm gaining life. It's definitely something. I'm going to let Ancestral Resolve, because it doesn't make sense to 2-for-1 myself to counter something. And there's the Basalt Monolith. Okay, everything happened exactly as I thought. So we're going to bounce Basalt Monolith. Then we're going to Preordain, Repeal Island. I like both. I guess I want Repeal more now. Play land, attack. If they do nothing, well, they're going to play Basalt Monolith, which I'm going to hopefully be able to miscalc. Nope, not going to be able to miscalc. Sure. I could Force of Negation. I'm gonna Force of Negation. It just makes Miscalc and Mana Tithe that much scarier. Draw land, so uptick to Teferi. Play land. I'm really not pressuring them, but that's okay. We attack. End of turn, I'm going to repeal Legion's Landing, most likely. They play Black Lotus. Okay. turnabout, they untap all of their lands. Not casting Black Lotus. Fighting Storm is very challenging. Why are they not cracking Black Lotus yet? I think I'm gonna let this... Let's see, I can miscalc, they pay. I Manatee, they crack Black Lotus. I think I'm gonna let this happen. And they play Yawgmoth's Will. Don't know if there's that much I can do to stop this, really. And if I play spells, they get more Storm. Right, I can counter, but then they just go Black Lotus. Okay. They have an absolutely insane Storm deck. They play Black Lotus. The Imperial Seal. Okay, I think I'm dead. But I don't want to give them Storm count. I mean, they can like Flame Slash my Vampire and something like that. Kind of regret using Force of Negation when I did. But now I know. They have Yawgwill. 6, 7, 8. So right now they don't have lethal, I don't think. They recall themselves, I can't do anything about it. I might be able to force them to pay out of black mana. One more mana. Pay one more mana. Ooh, okay. Oh no. Oh man, okay, never mind. I thought Teferi shut down Mind's Desire, but it doesn't, because it says until end of turn. So that's unfortunate. They have two things. Brain Freeze for 24. Their deck is so good, but I'm seeing more of it. Ember's Shieldbreaker, interesting. They cast Baral. Chalice for 0. Mana Vault. Just play this as a creature. Alright, Trick and Mage for... Do they have LED? This will actually be good information. They don't. They just have Black Lotus. Seething Song. Okay, what else do they have? Brain Freeze me for lethal. Okay, I'm just going to concede. Right, the Storm copies still work. Yeah. I really thought Teferi shut down Mind's Desire, but that is not the case. Alright, I'm just going to concede, save them the targeting nonsense. Okay, their deck is very, very, very good. So, note to self, don't use Force of Negation. Chromox is looking more enticing. Just being a turn faster could really make the difference. What do I get rid of? No, I'm on the play. We're just gonna keep it like this, I think. I do have a lot of counter magic. So I'd rather just be more consistent. Yep, this hand's good. I played that game wrong. I think I was supposed to just hold up Force of Negation, because if I just counter their Yawgmoth's Will, it is really hard for them to go off. Okay, so I don't mind drawing land, so I'm not going to fetch. No, because my life total does matter. That's one less tendrils if I shock. Oh, I did that main phase. Not supposed to do that. And we're going to play Legionnaire just because it hits harder. The Imperial Seal, if Mountain available. Okay, land is nice, so I can go like that. Attack for 3. And then I can go Tithe Taker, hold up Spell Pierce. Trinket Mage, yeah. Alright, there's Black Lotus. It also blocks, which is kind of frustrating. Alright, I want to see a land here. Okay, there's a land. Ask and you shall receive. Let's just attack with both. Not like Tithe Taker is going to get any better here. And I could have bounced Trinket Mage with Teferi, but that seems not the best. So how much damage is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I really want to get down to Pestermite, because that's a 2-turn clock from there. So we're gonna pass turn. If they have Yawgwill, Black Lotus, we're dead. But yeah, I guess it's really hard. If I let that resolve, then they can just cast Yawgmoth's Will. I think I just let it resolve. Man. Recall Black Lotus, Yawgwill, Mind's Desire. Very tough to fight through this. They can Ember's Shieldbreaker my Legionnaire. A Pyretic Ritual. So I can Spell Pierce that? No. Desperate Ritual. Man, their hand is so good against what I have going on. Here's my game plan. Oh, never mind. Bristlebrand. Didn't expect that one. Did not expect that one. Okay. Grizzlebrand is fine. How do I beat this? I can Pestermite the Grizzlebrand. So if they pay 7, they go to 5. So if I Pestermite, then they can no longer do that. Yes. I just need to hit a blue source. Yeah, this stops them from being able to draw cards. Blue source. Man, Vendilion Click would have been really good. We're gonna Teferi bounce Gristlebrand. If they have Yogg-Will, they have Yogg-Will. I need to draw an island here. Ah! Alright. I mean, Yogg-Will pretty much kills me, but they're pretty low. So we'll see what they got. They got this turn. Missing that blue source there really hurt. They're just playing Chalice for... Oh my gosh, they have Academy? This is like the most insane Storm deck I've ever seen. Yeah. Oh, that sucks. Okay. I think I'm dead because they just go Black Lotus. They get more mana off of Academy. Really sweet deck. Ritual into Ritual. And they don't need much Storm. Yeah, I think Spell Pierce I could have stopped them at some point. But I just didn't hit the blue mana I needed. Because like I can't let them untap with Gristlebrand. So I have to bounce it. Yeah, it's rough. If I just had Mana Tithe instead of Spell Pierce, I could have countered Gristlebrand. But then I guess I wouldn't have counter magic this turn. So they sack for black, they Imperial Seal for Tendrils, then they Ancestral Recall themselves. They might be short, right? That'd be 6-7. That might be 1 damage not enough. We'll see. They need 1 more card. So I mean, there are so many things they can recall into here. I think I'm pretty much just deterministically dead at this point. Yeah, Signet into Tendrils will kill me. Man, oh, even Spell Pierce now would do it. I needed that blue. Oh, that's rough. But, I mean, this is like the Nut Storm deck. You can't... Yawgmoth's Will plus Black Lotus is so strong. It's okay, though. I'm happy to lose to Storm. It's very... I don't know if cathartic is the word, but it's nice to see someone else drafting something spicy. We were right there for the trophy. I think... I don't know how much I could have done else differently. Maybe bringing in Chromax that last game would have made the difference, because I did die with cards in hand. Or playing more lands could have done it too. It's hard to say. But anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll try and get a couple more before Cube ends. I have like a few hours. We'll see how many we can do. See you guys then.